This is Asha Sekmet reporting to planet Earth. We have ascended to the fifth dimension. All right, guys, fun conversations today, serious conversations today. So, we're going to be talking about the new age polygamy in this new growing economy. I am based here in the US in 2025. My name is Asha Sekmet, and I am a Tantra practitioner, oracle, spiritual guide, and I am here to build a sovereign community of like minded souls based on water culture. This is a culture that represents what you would consider Black people on planet Earth, the true system, spiritual system for my community called the Maji Community. We have a pathway to become closer to the Creator without strict religious doctrine, and we follow natural law, reciprocity, and the laws of the universe. All right, our community is meant for those who need to complete their incarnation cycles as a human and continue on with their soul path in the universe. Okay? All right, so let's get into it, guys. Now, when I started my journey, I received a vision of the future. Okay? And it's my task. It would be like if I came from the future to be where I am today, to present the information and allow, people who are meant to have it get in their right place, right? Finding your soul family, your soul tribe. So this is for those, this is who I'm speaking to, okay? Now, we have to understand what is becoming outdated is people who have an individualistic mindset, people who can only live a life independent, self-made, um, individualism. Okay, this is here in the U.S. Again, I'm based here. This is an old conditioning and old model. We were born as a default of being born into this country. We were born to taught to think of ourselves as property, right? An example is like how we treat ourselves when we, clock in for a job. We were also taught to view our mates as property, our children as property, and to view ourselves as property. Now, that's not our fault, right? We were born into it, right? It's a stimulation, it's a matrix, okay? But now, as the only constant that exists, which is change, as the will of the Creator has it, it's time for humanity to change. It's time for things to change. We're seeing the shifts happen in real time. So now that's an old conditioning. That's going to be left in the past. The new model will be community centeredness. So what you have to learn how to do is have practice family and marital practices that involves communities coming together. That's very extremely difficult to do with monogamy. Okay. By and large, for melanated people, polygamy is the best family structure that helps develop a community. Okay. It is the only way you get a community. It's the only way. So let's talk about this. So we have the three tenets that we teach in the Mahi community. Do not live in the past, trust the opposite sex, and do not possess your mate. All right, this is very important. Easier said than done. What I find very interesting as someone who is building up my community in the real time, like doing the real work behind the scenes. My purpose is not to just show y'all a picture of me and my sister wife and my husband, a picture. And we live just normal lives. We live just normal lives in doing that. That's not my purpose. My purpose is to actually build a community from the ground up. That's very advanced. Okay. So let's talk about that. What I'm experiencing is that it's interesting to me that people trust systems and spiritless like work-oriented things. They trust that more than they trust human beings, specifically in their community. You're going to have a lot of problems with building a community if you think like that. You have to switch. We're switching now. This is a shift. This is a shift of time. The way that this earth is going to look by the end of my life is going to be drastically different. It's going to be a whole different earth ordained by the creator. Okay. I'm here as a mission, right? To planet earth. I was sent here by the most high. I was sent here. Okay. So this is very interesting. You have to trust the opposite sex and people in your community more than you trust these systems, more than you trust a work-related thing that's not a spirit. It's not a living, breathing soul. It's a machine. Machines, you have to trust living, breathing souls more than you trust that. Okay? And I'm saying this as premonitions for the future. So for people who, for our community, Maji community, we're going to be set. Okay, we're going to be set. We're going to be well adapted. We're going to be ready. Okay, and your bloodlines will be set up for success into the new world, prosperity, wealth, abundance, and all of that, and heaven on earth. So know that what I'm saying is I'm guided and I'm led. Okay, this is not coming from me. I'm just a channel. Okay, so trust the opposite sex. And then you have to not possess your mate. That's the only way you can get a community. You have to learn how to share your mate. Okay. When we talk about possession, it doesn't mean that there's not, it's the complete opposite of what a person who was conditioned to think of toxic monogamous culture in the West. It's the complete opposite. It's freedom. It's true freedom. It's the respect. It's the understanding that your person is a living, breathing soul, and they have their own path, even though you all are in a union. Okay. This is where community becomes so powerful because the unions build up a tribe, right? And then tribes build up villages, villages build up communities, communities build up nations, okay? So we had to get to this time. Do this for your children's sake. Start learning for your children's sake, okay? So we have the Awakening the Village. This is a 3-part virtual series that we're going to be doing for the Maji teachings on poly love, spirituality, and community. Okay. It is for a really great price for all of the value I'm going to be giving you. I'm going to be giving you thousands of dollars worth of information that I learned that I had to get to in order to even start my purpose. Okay. We're on a time clock, right? Your lineage is dependent on you, right? Earth is dependent on us, me, but your lineage is dependent on you. Okay. So now let's talk about, yes. So the beauty of it. So let's talk about the beauty of husband sharing, right? This is the foundation. This is the foundation for the Maji community. We have an entire curriculum on husband sharing, right? How can we call ourselves sister wives in our community? Okay, we're not co-wives, we're not sister wives. That means that we're sisters to our husband, other wives, and we're sisters to each other, and we're wives. We value wifehood. The only reason that we're coming together in sisterhood is because it's centered on husband sharing, uplifting our men in our community to the highest and best version of the masculine selves. Our sisterhood is founded on that. That's all you need to know. If you're looking for something else of some type of sisterhood and it doesn't fall into what our sisterhood is, there's other sisterhoods that exist for that. Go find your community. Don't come over here. Okay. So this is about us we value superior wifehood, right? Because the model that we have is an ascension to become superior man and superior woman on planet Earth. In our system, both man and woman is considered God in our system. Okay. That means we don't have a dichotomy. We don't have a dichotomy of one is like here, one is here. We're not a matriarch. We're not a religion. Okay. We uphold the laws of the universe. We uphold the laws of Ma'at, which means that we uphold the laws allowing both sexes to evolve to the highest and greatest level. We don't have a hindrance for any sex evolving. Okay. We help elevate each other. So for our community, for the 3-part virtual series, you're going to get one, I'm going to give you the natural calendar cycle that we use. Okay. This is going to allow you to live an alternative life, even though geographically you're located here in the US. You can live a different life, meaning you could be following a calendar and a cycle that gives you the code to the matrix to navigate through the matrix and live life abundantly, and not necessarily navigate through it because you're going to exit it, right? You're going to exit through it, but it's going to take a transition. So you have to get the code. You're going to transition out of the matrix. Okay. But this is how you start. You need awareness, because what's happening is that we're all being born as counterfeit versions of ourselves. We're being born into a lie. We were told lies about who we are, why we're here, why we exist. We believe that this reality is real, right? And it's not that it's just an illusion, right? It's just an illusion. That means that we're soul beings. We came here on earth to have lessons and to evolve and to continue on our paths in the universe. Okay. It's so much more bigger than what you think. We've been taught lies about that. We're so much bigger than what we think, right? It's Yes, it's fascinating. Okay. That is the beauty of practicing spiritual polygamy, right? Because you can utilize this as a school to evolve the soul. Okay. So this is what we teach. So we teach the husband sharing, and we have a curriculum, we have a model for this to gain superior wifehood. We have indigenous wifehood trainings. Okay. So come to the Awakening the Village. This is going to be Wednesdays, August the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. I'm also going to give other information that we utilize that allows us to live the life system. I'm essentially giving you the life system. We will not be delving into the Tantra as much because that's a separate class, but I'm going to give you the life system. Okay. Well, we'll just talk briefly about introductions of it. Okay. But this part is the foundation. I'm going to give you the life system. Okay. This is what allows us to practice functional polyamory. And we're doing this having high level orgasm with abundance, right? Abundance in relationships, abundance in network, abundance in finance, abundance in um, food, abundance in life, abundance in joy, pleasure, right? The higher spheres of what we need to go, abundance in enlightenment. Okay. So this is the foundation. It's the life system foundation. And when we go back to what the new world is becoming, people are going to be left behind if they cannot get out of their conditioning. And especially when you're talking about building a community on polygamous family structures, you having the thought of how you want things to go, you should completely scratch that. It's about the community mission, right? It's community above individual needs. And that's for my community, okay? This is what we're building. So if you feel resonated with this, if you want to be a part of, right, functional polyamory, freedom-based love, right? Allowing yourself to be in a community that's balanced between respecting individual sovereignties and their individual paths while also collectively elevating and ascending. That's very advanced. That's what we have in the Maji community. Okay. This is what we have. This is the system. This system was created before I was born. I was tasked to take the system and build a community out of it. So if we do that, this is what we have. If you want that balance, if you want the balance between evolving by committing to a community collective vision, then we're here. Okay. And especially for Black African Americans, okay, my heart and soul, we have historically been left behind, right? We are in a position that could arguably be the worst in America. Okay. We're not victims though. We're not victims, right? Okay. That means it is up to us to be responsible for our own sovereignty, education, communities. The moment you point to something out there to create something for you, you're going to go last. Why? Why? I would tell a community to do that. Yeah. Why? They do all the work for their community and then give you something that will help. That doesn't make any sense. That's not reciprocity. No. Sovereignty, community for our own. Yes, of course, we have contributed to the construct of this country. Of course, my lineage, right, contributed to that. Yes, but that's not the goal. The goal is for us to have our own. Okay. So we're talking about a system that gives us our natural culture back. This is what the 3-part virtual series is about, getting back to ancestral ways and values that is according to our DNA. This is why we're in the positions that we're in, and we're going to set our children and our lineages up for failure if we don't connect back to our DNA, right? Because the systems that we use today are a model for European culture, family practices, thinking, and ideology. And there's nothing wrong with that for people who identify as that, for people who reincarnated in that type of hominid racial group. But if you are what you would consider someone who look like me in America, you have something completely opposite that you should be doing and practicing. A completely different culture, completely opposite. So the thing that we're looking at today is how do we take this indigenous ancestral family practices like polygamy and modernize it? Because we're in a new world. So yes, our ancestors can guide us, but we have the principle of Sankofa. So you take things from the past, but you have to remold them to account for the reality in the new world. We're not going back in time, okay? It's not the polygamous family practices that we practice today. They may be similar to the way our ancestors practiced them, but they will be different. They will be vastly different because we are different humans today. We live in a new world. So what does that mean? We live in a world where you have Black African American women where status economically is at a different position than versus where Black men economic status is, right? So there's things that we have to accommodate for when we're talking about coming together in various forms of polygamous marriages. Okay. So there will be some Black women who incarnation purpose, few in between, but they will exist, who incarnation purpose is to indulge in wife sharing. That's the truth. Because they may have some type of gifts that it would make sense for them to pair with multiple men in their community. Okay. So in real time, that will come for the Maji community. We do practice a concept of wife sharing. We do. And we have the curriculum for husband sharing. Okay. That is right. Set in stone, mastered. I can do that. This is what we do. Sisters get trained on that here. But we have the actual spiritual system that will allow you to live a lifestyle that's natural for you, right? For me personally, one of the issues that I had before was I dealt with so much anxiety and really anxiety because I always just felt like on a soul level, I'm not living the life I'm supposed to. So so when I was in college, and living my life going a different path, I just had such deep anxiety that I didn't know how to heal from or like deal with it. And it's because I didn't even practice a lifestyle that was natural. Like now living the lifestyle that I do today, with our meditative practices, tantra, um, and qigong, energy work, the elementals. We have a natural planetary calendar cycle to live in harmony with Earth. Now that I actually practice a system, right, understanding our bagua, understanding what our incarnation purpose is, all of these things. Now that I have, it's a whole system. Now that I have it, it's like, oh, and then also the unseen, right? Because as water people, or what you would consider Black people, we are a connection with the unseen in a different way than other hominid racial groups. So we have a connection that way. And for the unseen, for us, we're guided by the deities of the tree of life. These are expressions of the creator. So, so our life system, the unseen is just as important as us as the physical humans. We are the center of it, of course, because we are going to, come together and we're going to get this done. But the unseen is just as important for us, right? They guide us, they help us. We lean on each other. It's a reciprocal, loving relationship, okay? It's mutually beneficial. This is the creator moving through us, okay? This is the creator's intelligence, okay? So for myself, I'm so much more at peace in my heart. I don't get to live a life where I'm trying to control so much. And it's just like, why is this happening, or tragedy? I don't exist like that anymore. I'm in a whole nother frequency, and it is yet to come. The more abundance and everything that's meant for me is on its way because of the work that I put in spiritually. I kept having faith without sight. I kept trusting the God in me. I kept relying back on my ancestral ways, right? I kept following spirit, right? And knowing, a deep knowing that I will make it to the other side in the success of my community and our polyamorous relationships and where we are headed, because I trust my spirit team. I trust the network of the life system that we practice. And I continue to stay rooted in what I know is my anchor, which is my community. That's my anchor. Okay. So in this day and time where we're headed to thrive in this new economy, okay, especially as people who look like me, you have to trust people in your community more than you trust systems and work related operating machinery things. You have to certainly trust the opposite sex in our community. And you have to learn to share your mate. You have to be okay with that. You don't own your mate. That's weird. They're a living, breathing soul. And once you're able to shift from an individual mindset to a community centered mindset, then that's how you can prepare your lineage for the new world. Okay? You have to get rid of everything you think you know about sex, relationships, marriage, what a spouse is, what you even think you are. Throw it away and start new. You have to be open to the unfamiliar, the unknown. You have to. And it's going to have challenges, right? It's going to be humps. It's going to be hurdles. It's going to be ups and downs, right? You're going to go through periods or cycles. For myself, I've been through depression, right? You're going to have times where when you remove things, Tragedy is lost because you're not on the right path. You have to remove things to gain. That's a spiritual principle. You have to be willing and ready to do whatever you can for your community, for your lineage, and that's self-love. Self-love is not going to a spa day and doing for self. That sounds great. That's cute. That's cute. And your village is burning and dying. That's not self-love. That's self-hatred. Okay? They taught you, and the world is going to continue to teach you something backwards and different. Okay. Follow your intuition. Follow what feels right for you. And I've have seen this a little bit too in the ethers, where somebody like, you could say, okay, we're on a time clock. And it's like, well, don't get into fear, guys. And I saw this from a Black feminist. Like, don't, like, yeah, let's not go into fear. You should have a healthy level of fear of the Almighty Creator. Let's say that. Say that from a Black woman that has reincarnated for many lifetimes. And I don't want no smoke. I don't want no smoke with the Creator. Let's say that I follow the will of God. I follow the will of the Creator. So find a community, guys. If find a community. Okay. So again, Awakening the Village, August 13th, 20th, 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm really looking forward to building community with you all. And us developing into the new world. I am working right now behind the scenes with the community building. We have business partners for the generational wealth piece and legacy building. If you're interested in learning more information about that, please reach out to me. I would love to connect you with my team. We're talking about financial freedom, economic sovereignty. This is what we're doing in building a community with doing that. Okay. So that's what it's all about. There's moving pieces. Okay. So it's a very beautiful life. Okay. If you can get through, right, you don't get spiritual growth without struggle. Okay. You're going to have to go through some challenges, that internal struggles. But once you get to the other side of it, it is heaven on earth. I found the God in me. I found something in me, even if I was on a different planet. It's priceless. It's something that it's nothing more advanced than what I found in me. I could be on another planet right now and see orbs and all this cool stuff, and I would not be as impressed I am with going in and looking at my own soul. I won't find anything more impressive than that. Okay. That's self-love. But I got there through community building, through husband sharing, sisterhood, being devoted for my community, and my love for Black men, and my love for uplifting Black men in my community, and helping them evolve spiritually with my Tantra work and healing, and continuing on. Okay. All right, guys, it's about elevating the divine masculine as well. I'm in the business of helping men evolve spiritually on this planet, Black men in particular, but that does help the collective masculinity on Earth. All right, so yeah, so the Black man is the highest capacity of what the divine masculine channels through on Earth. The Black man has the highest level of masculine potency on planet Earth. Okay. So, yes, the Black man is my God, my healer, protector, my master, teachers. And that's what we center our sisterhood on in husband sharing in my community. We do center men in our community. Okay. And we have indigenous wifehood trainings, and that's still there. And that doesn't necessarily clash with the wife sharing, because sisters know their life path, right? We know their life path. They come for that and they get the training, and they, have that in our community. And then, of course, as time goes on, the wife sharing part, there's a blueprint for those who ascend to that level, and it's meant for them. We'll have that as the time is right. All right. It's been real, y'all. Love y'all. Love building community. You can reserve for the Awakening the Village on my website, www.ashasecmet, that's SEKHMET.com/store. And also Tantra trainings, if you're interested in that, having a one-on-one with me, that's how you start learning the life system. This is going to be a good opportunity for you to learn the life system, but also just to have the one-on-one with me, build the connections, get tapped into our community. I have polyamory consultations and polygamy services. So wherever you are, I have heart work that I do as well to help you connect with your soul, and Tantra. So please reach out to me if you are interested in learning and wanting to become a part of our growing community. I will see you all in the next video.